hata et Yehua Elohika bika luvika uvika naveshika uvika miyodika tode yasak in English in the name of Jesus. Match Israel Yehua.
Amen. But this Alaji Dr. Munufie Miaso one day Juma or person top man and say he wants to become the first Muslim obey to be president of Ghana. Well, it's up to him. Let's leave it up to him. But governance and they are not ready to dig them into. One will say NPP before, I keep on advising them, say, someone where my Ken Ofori Atta and Magana. No Ghanaian will take NPP party no serious. And it's like, oh, can't they are not ready to listen. Because Obia Bedi finance minister of Ghana, we are for Ghana to care Ghana. You hear now, the message out there is, oh, and I'm panic also, Yare, and we say that is the message he was giving us. Okayama afenyama can squad kwatana parliament can say Ken Ofori Atta say yare o sana yare o baba not true is omoboa yen kwani ngo bisa Manase Zuri say ah na no yete see a Ken Ofori Atta te say won so di na kwa America ho ena me no ka say Manase Zuri e wa America ho or the deep investigative journalism adwuma pa ba yen tie Manase Zuri any secret awanya about Ken Ofori Atta.
Well, I caught him. I only have details of what he does. And that's what I've been sharing. And exact location where he was arrested, according to sources who witnessed the arrest, is in Washington, D.C., 124th Street in Washington, D.C. And there is an apartment, a luxury apartment complex building called the Westlight Building. This building is in a very expensive neighborhood of Washington, D.C., and it is a 20-minute walk from the White House. This is where sources say Ken Ofori Atta and some members of his family, I have heard specifically his wife and son, have been living in this building. This is the building where Kamala Harris was living prior to her election and swearing in as the Vice President of the United States. And Kamala Harris had a 2-bedroom condo in this Westlight building. And when she moved in April 2025, this building was listed on the market and sold for almost $2 million. This is just a 2-bedroom apartment in this building where Ken Ofori Atta lives. And it was sold for almost $2 million, to be specific, $1.85 million. So this shows that it's an apartment in this luxurious neighborhood. And the information is that on Tuesday morning at about 11 a.m., Ken Ofori Atta was moving out of this building. And as soon as he stepped outside of this building, the agents of ICE surrounded him, got him into a car, and drove him away to this detention center, the Caroline Detention Center in Virginia, which is about 89 miles from the exact location where he was arrested. And they say that this was like a targeted operation. Sometimes ICE officials or agents raid places and do or conduct mass arrest. But everything I'm hearing from sources that were present when Ken was picked up shows that it was a targeted operation. They appear to have come to lay ambush, and as soon as he emerged, they surrounded him, got him into the vehicle, and then drove him away about an hour-and-a-half drive to where he's currently being detained.
All right, and this is Uti Manase Zura. Yes, I say any at Ken Ofori Atta. See at the tenor. Upia Bontian and didn't come out. I chin it say a chakuko. What was it? Over that we won't class no. So Pakuachi the Brunya. I could call to any ati. I could call to him say, Brunya do the media go and for the sound quine. And Tina is a cocoa so dodgy. And this and the Attorney General and so when the US authorities no. I revoke Ken Ofori Atta lances that. Papa didn't play hide and seek. Yes, I te a fear or team. Yes, it was almost $2 million. 20 minutes walk away from the White House. When I Ken Ofori Atta akote. Yes, I don't pay me na papa say so or cut jogging no say say or cut milk cabanumo so cut the opia and then puma. Say opa akoko achi na wo de aburo esos of forms ah bo say akoko na eso odi a odu were say wo de kenten na butu ne so. Ana say what akura da but one na ata akura da. Say opa akura achi na usum video na wo de nama sebe ye won kura se ye toto nam no. Wo toto na hwehwehwe na 2 video na no. Nti akura na de kekere kukuro ai no dam. Not inside ye Ken Ofori Atta. Chini se echi akoko no. Chini se echi kura. Ken Ofori ni bera. So ya say akwa no kuro de asori mu. Na fede. Ya say asori mu na waja na yere ne ma odam. Na Ken Ofori Atta etiem awurade ye de me ko because no onima de ye de ye. Ya say echi na de boto wura ni ti. Nti no hu ade omo ye na papa start o tiem. Ya de me ko, mama ya de me ko na yere ne ma. E de me ka me wura na de daddy pe ai. Why they can ko. Wana na yere fa telephone of free. Lawyer Frank Davis. Oh, na jidi ya wana frame. Oh, Ken Ofori Atta yiro. Ena nkofu be abachi me yiro. Ya de abachi me kuno. Ya de bota sheriti. Ya de ne kwa se eh ya de ne kwa ye kwa kune na se de. Ya tia mani hu se na ice na Ken Ofori Atta. A whole finance minister of our country. Ya chini tene ya chi bera no. Now when you must say sometimes when you advise people, they don't listen. Yera Ken Ofori Atta etna Ghana being a finance minister for 7.5 years. NPP for members of parliament, a press conference called President and Akufo-Addo was say, Mr. President, Saki Ken Ofori Atta because of say Ghana president is the mean, you know. Now surprisingly, no, Nipa or did that particular press conference and Nim say someone Saki Ken Ofori Atta menti ase no, yenti ade idea no.
Glad you're better.
Yes, I'm better. Very well.
But you have not stated the image. Was it suspected poisoning?
Well, that's what I was told, that I had some poison.
Okay.
I was told. But I had gone through some treatment and I'm fine.
And now you're hale and hearty?
I am very fine.
Brilliant. And we thank God that you are in good shape now.
Yes, I'm fine.
But it sounded like a small project. You didn't even get him removed in the first place anyway.
Yes.
And you didn't succeed.
When you attempt to attack people's integrity, it's a dangerous, enterprise. So you have to be careful. And I've always been careful. If you talk to my PA, he tells you that I don't even eat from outside. It was just on the occasion that I...
You did once.
But the lawyer and the appeal could be say the moment omo mount pressure say President and Akufo-Addo any year Ken Ofori Atta na no. Unima de oye also no need abonten. He doesn't even know how they did it. They poisoned him and they wanted to kill him. And never na you lawyer and the appeal could be not say chama won to me lawyer na no. Also they poisoned him, they wanted to kill him. Because he was calling on they say Ken Ofori Atta say Ken Ofori Atta and the eyes they bought in akoko no. Now what Ghana no. The moment you mention the name Ken Ofori, yeah, be jaw kwan. Be jaw kwan say ah. And you say koye do time say wo pese wo ka Ken Ofori Atta say mo Ghana ho you need to be very very careful. Mesere wo bompire bo bi ma Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General because they say Ken Ofori Atta ni di keke no so dangerous say obo ni di it be poison o. Papa is here ka kiti nke ku no. Me tie lawyer and the appeal could be interview here or say hwe ya poison na other hospital pass on the kurum kwa no. They wanted to send helicopter, pick him up and then finish him. Made air. Also oda ho on the onim hwe o. Ena obi frɛ na yere ebo na yira ma na se hwe ukunu babi oda no e poison de ma no. Na aban mu nipa bi no be frɛ say the helicopter be fa na kwa Accra. Esra mfa na nko because fro helicopter pa onu. Actually, lawyer in the Kayo, he's an astute lawyer. Ose ampa na yere so oda ho na telephone call by from any open outside. Ye pese be bobo din bia. Oh, na ya tese ukunu o yare no ho mfa no. Ene the helicopter ba be fa na yere si da bi mesere mo. Hey, helicopter mu da bicycle on na ya no ngu mepe. Anya sanke be fa na say go mia ne kon in the helicopter. Not to say ya bonkru fo bi pass akọ mu fa ne to plane mu say pe mo won ne pane ebo ni kuno. E merely mention Ken Ofori Atta's name o. Keke. Etimi kuni pa wo ho. Esi na Ken Ofori Atta wo ye powerful sa na wo braga na be ansa kwaseza. O se wo ma no. Na ne wo de we de nipa. Imagine somebody becoming a finance minister. ne party for ankasa hu se papa no emo ne homoden edi yen sakina ese hey dabi ukoka wasema eyiwa fi ho na woni ma se mesere me do beko attorney general any deputy attorney general. Before I start, let me play a video with deputy attorney general actually say news na Ken Ofori Atta lawyers the ba say na lawyer is ne visa na is fine dey was dey nya no kure. Dr. Saram say nya no kure e pa choti no.
When it comes to fugitive of justice or fugitive from justice, the person who is running away from justice, the fundamental rule when it comes to two states dealing with each other is that no person, apart from citizens, no person has the right to remain in another person's country. So, an extradition, that's the process of extradition that we know as a result of extradition treaty, is not the only way that a person will be removed from one country and surrendered to another country. Right. So we need to draw two lines here. The formal extradition process and other ways of getting a fugitive to come back home, other lawful ways of getting a fugitive to come back home. What we have been dealing with over the period has been more focused on what? Extradition.
Yes.
Right. But there are other ways of getting a fugitive to arrive in the country. We have been doing our best to ensure that anyone who has run away from accountability and justice is brought to book. I told you that we arrested someone recently who was at large, and those are the process that we have done.
So was the person out of the country?
Yeah, the person was out of the country.
The one who has just been arrested?
Yes, and now he's here.
Which country was he?
It was in the, I think, United States.
So the U.S. authorities helped you to arrest this person?
I won't give the details.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I said, extradition is not the only process.
Okay,
so
great.
Now to
okay,
to the former finance minister. As at June 2025, that's last year, his visa got revoked. I know I've seen statements from people who said the visa expired.
I see. So as of June 2025, his visa was revoked.
Revoked. So it's not a question of expiration of visa.
No, so explain that, because there's some information about his visa expiring in February 2026. That's 14 February. I spoke to Manasseh a couple of days ago.
Take it for me.
That.
Take it for me.
Explain what you mean.
The information we have from authentic sources is that his visa was revoked in 2025, June 2025. So he's been living in America without a visa, let me put it that way, for all this while.
Since June 2025?
That is the information we have.
His visa was revoked?
Yes.
So
it is not everything I can put to you, but it is just surprising that we have information from people out there, some purporting to be formal information, which is completely contrary to what the reality is.
Which is what, for instance?
Which is that visa did not expire.
True.
Visa got revoked.
That's what some of his persons who speak for him have been saying.
Precisely. So I'm saying that apart from extradition, there are other ways of making sure that persons
come into the country.
Exactly.
So this is one of them.
And the Attorney General's office is exploring every possible avenue of having anyone who has run away from the Republic to be returned to accountability. And we will succeed.
You will succeed. You're making this emphatic statement on television today that you will succeed.
We will use every possible legal means to bring anyone who is running away from justice in this country.
Including Ken Ofori Atta.
Yes.
All right. Justice Sam say every means be a Ken Ofori Atta be Ghana be an say be faso. I say every means. Also he is speaking on authority say here Ken Ofori Atta's visa was revoked and yes say the visa time now so I say there be. Yes say papa dey too kwan no kita Canada visa, UK visa, US visa. It is alternate US as 6 months na wa shift ko be say UK na wa say ba. E ho na wa shift ko Canada na wa say ba. It game na papa na be say obe player no. So he was not ready to come to Ghana. And Ken Ofori Atta there say Ghana pa there Attorney General also dey be there. And they just say the caterpillar cause papa na say. Because I sachi papa you cry man where say what person say since June or July and they revoking the lines they say the visa. Na papa na be say on si Ghana that the and emu adwuma ya Attorney General. Ken Ofori Atta say Ghana pa de ken ane ken o so mada just amodi caterpillar and koso na se na matwe no enti ene deputy attorney general me ate say no matter what yeah the papa no ebeba Ghana but we are going to go deep into attorney general nankasa attorney general de nchire mu nyina bai na mo ni ma asem bi yesere NPP for say omo de omo ntiase da na Ghana mrebia ni Ghana chese say obe serve publica at the end of your stewardship no go for accountability omo say mrebia ni ho o serve na obokro no mrebia ni Ghana sa let's go and ask NPP for say what do you mean by that what am Ghana what get to say oba some Ghana at the end of your stewardship no go for accountability I must say there be more than money so NPP for sorry say chianechi Ken Ofori Atta here and no more money because there is no law in the country a country will be so maya but I make account if I do you
see he's right though. This whole public perception, public prosecution is what is informing potentially, and I don't speak for Mr. Ofori Atta, his decision to remain outside the jurisdiction. Because listen, a lot of talk has been made. And I hear my good friend, Prof, make the point that if you've held public office, you ought to be able to avail yourself an account. You ought to be able to avail yourself and answer questions. Samson, you and I are lawyers. What law compels an accused person to even cooperate with an investigator who is investigating him? What law? What rule requires Mr. Ofori Atta? Are you going to please allow me to speak? What law requires him to even be present for anything? The burden in all of this rests with the Attorney General to prosecute and lead evidence to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that the man has a case to answer. If at that point he elects not to defend himself, the court can proceed to convict him. But we made it look as if to say he is under some obligation to be in Ghana to assist the investigators investigating before they take him to court. I want to know from you, is Ken Ofori Atta or any accused person for that matter under any obligation in law when he's charged to appear?
What do you prefer?
Certainly not.
What do you prefer?
It would be ideal. I don't have a problem. It would be ideal if he's minded. But if he feels that there's sufficient enough documentary evidence which exculpates him and that his presence to give evidence in his defense or not is immaterial, go ahead and prosecute the man.
Do you think that's what he's doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not his lawyer. I don't speak for him. But I sit back and I observe the kind of public commentary, the kinds of things that people are saying, even people on this platform, essentially making it look as if to say, oh, well, you said you're in public office and you're supposed to account. Please, let's not do this to ourselves. Because it's important.
What is unfair about that? That you have said in public office,
you
are needed to account. Make yourself available.
Needed to account.
Make yourself available.
Wait.
Why do you want it to be elevated to charges in court before you show up?
Samson, needed to account for what? For what? Show me the law that says that when you serve in public office, when you finish, you have to account. No, please, let me make my point. With all seriousness. The Attorney General and the state investigative agencies have accused him of committing a crime. True or false?
True.
I've served in public office. Nobody has accused me of committing any crime. You've accused a man. You say he should come. To do what? If you have your proof, the law is clear. Go to court, establish a prima facie case, lead your evidence. If he is minded to come and cross-examine your witnesses, let him do so. If he's not minded to do it, go ahead with your case. You see?
He's right, though.
This whole public perception, public prosecution is what is informing potentially, and I don't speak for Mr. Ofori Atta, his decision to remain outside the jurisdiction. Because listen, a lot of talk has been made. And I hear my good friend, Prof, make the point that if you've held public office, you ought to be able to avail yourself an account. You ought to be able to avail yourself and answer questions. Samson, you and I are lawyers. What law compels an accused person to even cooperate with an investigator who is investigating him? What law? What rule requires Mr. Ofori Atta? Are you going to please allow me to speak? What law requires him to even be present for anything? The burden in all of this rests with the Attorney General.
Anyway, the position of NPP for a Japan mess, I don't know, live on TV. Or say Ghana, maybe anywhere, actually say, you need to come and answer questions on your stewardship to the nation. That is the position of NPP. It is how you Ghana and say what bomb say NPP mra power. That is their thinking. That is their mindset. Say, oh, Debbie, maybe deep minister we, maybe president we, maybe MMDC we, maybe CEO we are, maybe dia ma diko untiminya mi who, bibi no obet me akaje say me. That is their position. Wow, how NPP for being. And these are the people. Also, what was saying, the lawyer Ken Ofori Atta. But of course, they talk because what Japan Mesa, we know you are part and parcel of the NADO's administration. So they talk, they communicate, and these are the things they are telling Ken Ofori Atta. So, Obi and your way. And the Attorney General Ghanaians are saying, say, until Saudi Papa will be back Ghana, no, no, Nabio. Yen Kasi Achino Americans, that's it, we need Ken Ofori Atta in Ghana. That is what Ghanaians are calling for. That's what Ghanaians are yearning for. So we need Ken Ofori Atta in Ghana. Attorney General, it does not matter. So because you were part when I'm a chino, when I'm revoking investor, that be so one time for number and Kurofo Becachino say, wouldn't Marabian on this side, you will defeat you. So these are serious important things. Because Ora Jumana Mayeno, Ora Kahubi, it's part why Ghanaians voted massively for NDC. Ora Nekahubi. It is a net the mere fact that Ken Ofori Atta Ghana, na Japan mess some alternative you can just say Ghana say Ken Ofori Atta should come back to Ghana and answer questions. Master, you people need to do everything possible to go after him. Let's listen to Attorney General Lankasa.
Well, okay, so you know that even from day one, I didn't make this public, but I started investigating Ofori Atta. All right. In fact, in his case, I'm doing it with, some foreign investigators that are tracking, all the offshore dealings and so on, all right? And then, of course, we are also doing our own investigations here. They are inconclusive as we speak. I mean, we have not, come to any conclusion. So
this is different from the SML?
It's different, totally different, and potentially mind-blowing, but I that I will not, give any details at this point in time. So I started working with the Americans in respect of Ofori Atta long before OSP, came up with their announcement. Yeah, I started working with them, and I want Ghanaians to know that he just didn't overstay his visa. The visa was actually revoked. So it's not that Ofori Atta overstayed. So in July, the American government revoked, the State Department revoked his visa, all right? And they gave him up to November 29th of 2024 to leave the United States, okay? He did not. And then that is how come that they, decided they were going to now pursue him, and arrest him. Actually, the arrest was supposed to occur on January 4th, and they did not do so, but on Tuesday, January 6th, they, apprehended him, in the Virginia area and took him into...
You're saying this is not exactly about immigration?
Yes, it's not exactly about immigration.
His visa his visa is not expired. It was in February.
It was revoked. The visa was revoked. I am telling you this on authority. All right. The last meeting that I had with the American authorities was just 3 days ago.
His lawyers say here in Ghana say this is just a standard process.
No, it's not. It's not a. I mean, they want to give it that a twist, to make it look like there is nothing wrong. But of course, the extradition request that I sent was in respect of the OSP.
Yes, the SML matter.
Yes, but I have been working with the Americans diligently on him, and the visa was revoked, and that is how come that he lost his immigration status in the United States.
Explain to me, visa is revoked on account of you investigating him?
Something I wouldn't want to give any details, because we speak with in confidence with the Americans, but this is something that I can publicly confirm that a visa was revoked.
So in respect of his extradition, are your lawyers in America to assist the state as the Department of Justice? As we understand, there's supposed to be some 2 lawyers from your place, 2 lawyers from the OSP or so, to go and help the Americans who prosecute the case in the American courts.
Normally, we don't send our lawyers. We don't send our lawyers. We are represented because we make the request to the American authorities. So just like here, when they make a request, my office, mostly led by, my deputy, Justice Srimsai, goes to court. My lawyers go to court, and they represent the interests of the United States of America.
That's right.
And they do all the arguments, and then when, they persuade the judge grants the extradition request, and then, we extradite the person. It is going to be the same. So you see, when I said that Mr. Ken Ofori Atta had hired top lawyers in America to argue his case for him, and that is not going to be an easy battle trying to bring him home. People thought that I was going to the United States to face his lawyers there, and I was afraid. I'm not afraid. Paul Adomotiri did a show here where he said a Stanford lawyer, and you are afraid of lawyers in America. I'm not afraid of them.
He's not the only one who was unhappy.
No, but nobody ought to be unhappy, because John Ashcroft, the former attorney, general of the United States of America, all right, called me and said he was the one representing, Ken Ofori Atta in the matter. But his concerns, that the reason he called me was for me to assure him that when Ken is returned to Ghana, all right, he will get a fair trial. And I assured him of the fact that under this government, and in accordance with Article 19 of the Constitution, his right to a fair trial is guaranteed. No one is going to, Ken Ofori Atta is not he's not the person that will come here and we're going to treat him very shabbily and so on and so forth. He will be accorded due process of law. His fair trial rights will be guaranteed and so on. So I talked with John Ashcroft, but at the time, I could not, including the lawyer, the lawyer who granted the interview.
That's right.
So there were 3 of them, 3 lawyers who spoke to me via, a Zoom on that day when they were expressing concerns. Okay. So at that point in time, it was confidential. I could not mention John Ashcroft as his lawyer. All right. But I was simply saying that when you take the fact that he has these top lawyers coming to court in America to defend him, it is not going to be a day's work to bring him home.
That's
because he will appear before in this current matter. He will appear before an immigration judge. All right. On January 20th, he's appearing before an immigration judge.
Right.
He has a right to appeal that decision to a district court.
Right.
From the district court, it can go to a circuit court of appeals.
Yeah.
Then from there to the United States, Supreme Court. That is potentially the legal pathway to the determination as to whether or not he should be taken from America.
Right.
If he doesn't self-deport, this is what is going to happen. In the extradition case, again, a district court will hear the proceedings and make a determination as to whether to extradite him. If he is not happy about that, he can go to a circuit court of appeal and to the United States of America.
Right.
So I was just laying out, the legal pathway that lies ahead of us,
and which could drag.
And that is part of the process of probity and accountability.
But why do you get a sick man's visa revoked? And as I understand, it was revoked in June.
No, in July.
June or July?
July, I think.
Rather.
Yeah.
Okay.
July.
Well, he's sick. He's not well. That's what we are told. He needs to recuperate from treatment.
Do you
and so on.
recuperate only in America? You can recuperate here. There are people here with prostate cancer who are treating themselves.
As a party in the phone will be a head open on your console to her. Wo buy ya wubu amemu.
Yeah, we're going to go deep into a Katachi and so also the Nam. President I do agree with you because we shouldn't sit down for somebody steal the resources of our dear nation and then run away and enjoy that particular amount or that money. You say Ken Ofori Atta aqua rented Daya, so I could say the Daya here Tony almost $2 million at the heart of America, very like 20 minutes walk away from the White House. And on it's one relaxing. And then he is not ready to come back home because when you're not going to Ken Ofori Atta and and can revoke the last somewhere June or July. No, he could have come straight away. Attorney General said Ken Ofori Atta's lawyers called him personally. They had discussions. So yes, Ken Ofori Atta so about man yani bibia. Mamun tata mamun you take him through the law. From that time, July be see in January, but how many months in there? Say papa never bank waba. If January say akwachena, maybe if he say 419, his lawyers are trying to play some game. Attorney General said, someone to my papa we are ma. Be harding too much because my mind this if we nyasem bia ye beka. Acquired to level say NPP phone po e kase tia papa yi. Ene bi na me be ba akire o kete chefri fadi ankasa.
As a party in the phone will be a head open on your console to her. Wo buy ya wubu amemu. Ken Ofori Atta. Ken baby audi adie na we gu party nani muase. Ugu party nani muase. Ugu party nani muase. Eti Ken Dani wonsa anasa resign. Men resign tintintinity. Men resign tintintinity. No jina fako. Ken Ofori Atta resign na party no baby MPs mago afedie mintimi nyame ma ho. Untimi nya ma ho na de waja ma koro no ho akwa kwotena buruchiri. Say ya ne ya che okura ne ade a wo ye papa nko anim nte. Ya che ne yegu nko an anim asia. The fact that you have refused to even to come and answer to your questions, it goes ahead to dent the image of the NPP as though NPP are Kromfo party.
And of course, NPP they are not Kromfo party, Priscilla. NPP are not Kromfo party. That is something they need to know. No, Bob say he stole from Senate in the 90s as well and ran away until Kufuor came to power. So that is his modus operandi. On the Ajumo ya no, na gudu where you sa no ko gudu sa no you know ko. But NPP are there for party. Nne so we Ghana ni na udi NPP chi say NPP one person NPP mna power bim there. That means you already say some Kufuor and say maybe we are Ghana sika. And we are not ready to accept those kind of things. But the NPP for Japan mesa mo say mrebi any Ghana say ube bob my crown no uni kwan bia say obaso ba ansa no. We are here telling you say emra Ghana che say untimi nwa Ghana sika enso no nwa nkotre ba bia kwa. That we shouldn't do things like that. Ghana na ye chire no. Your name be what we need to do it as a people. Untimi ntena say enwa man sika we house me dey me sorry am sorry ko obi ene obeti ma he me hwe. Ada ndi asem kwa dey born na Ghana ya NPP for the only thing you people know how to do is to come and mess up the system. Mutai chile kwa brane eba be kora man kama na mo so ma ba be say na dwiri ni nyina to agu. Ada ndi asem ko. Idea born na Ghana ya ye. Anyway, this is the debate.